I want to take you back to a couple weeks ago. And you guys might remember this because the night that my dog Honey died, I did a stream basically talking about how sad I was. I was crying. I showed you guys pictures of Honey. I raised Honey since she was a puppy. And she died in our house, in her sleep, in her favorite spot, right in front of the heater. And I was upset, and I still am upset. And for some reason, past my understanding, there are assholes on the internet that are continuing weeks later to use my dead dog to harass me. And I'm going to prove it. So a couple weeks ago, literally, I think either the night my dog died or the day after my dog died, of course you have people like off his psychiatric meds, literally Frank McCormick, that's constantly doing this AI art shit to try to get people to bully me. And so Frank McCormick is doing what Frank McCormick always does, which is spending all of his time doing nothing of value, which is making AI art to harass me on the internet. I expect this psychotic behavior from Frank. Frank literally is off his psychiatric medication. We know he's off his psychiatric medication because he's publicly tweeted multiple times that he's off his psychiatric medication, and he should probably go back on it. Replying to this is a person I hadn't even thought about in years. Josh Slocum of the Disaffected podcast. Josh Slocum of the Disaffected podcast pretends to be some sort of expert on personality disorders when in fact he's just working out his mommy issues on the internet. Josh Slocum years ago did entire podcasts analyzing my mental health, even though the man had never spoken to me. And I use the word man very, very lightly in this sense. Never spoken to me, never watched my content. All Josh Slocum did was listen to some crazy bitch who's obsessed with me complain about me, and therefore he decided that I was a narcissist and cluster B psychopath and all sorts of other things, and he recorded podcast episodes to this effect. Now, I hadn't thought about Josh Slocum in years because, quite frankly, Josh Slocum is not remotely relevant to my day-to-day, and I don't really care what he's doing, and I don't think he's very smart or worth listening to, so I just kind of tuned him out. Josh Slocum popped back up when Psycho Frank McCormick was posting this stuff about me, and he said, "You need to add a dead dog to the action figure." So Josh Slocum, literally, along with many other people that Josh Slocum is friends with, using my dead dog to harass me. This was weeks ago, okay? This was when what day did my dog die? 2 weeks ago. So fast forward a couple weeks. Josh Slocum has decided that he's not done harassing me over my dog dying. And last night, Josh Slocum did a premiere podcast episode all about me. And you can see here, this is from his Twitter from last night, where he's got my photo obviously on it. I'm told he did a whole analysis of stuff that's years old. I didn't actually watch this, by the way. I didn't watch it. And just so we're very clear, I'm never watching this. We are not going to watch this on this channel because I'm not engaging at the level that Josh Slocum is engaging. I'm not doing it in any way, shape, or form. What I am told by people who did watch it is that in this podcast, Josh Slocum told people that I wasn't really upset about my dog dying, and I was just pretending to be upset to get people to send me super chats on the internet. I want everyone to think about this for a second. This is a person who claims to be an expert in severe personality disorders, recording literally an entire podcast about how I wasn't actually upset when my dog died. and that the only reason I acted upset was to get super chats on the internet. Josh Slocum has repeatedly said that he never watches my content. I can tell you flat out, Josh Slocum and I have never had a conversation. We've never had a single conversation. Josh Slocum doesn't listen to a thing that I say. He doesn't engage in any meaningful way. All he does is sling bullshit on the internet. And I have to say, even I didn't think that fucking fat ass faggot would go so low as to record an entire podcast claiming to have some sort of insight into whether or not I was upset about the death of my dog that I raised from the time she was an 8-week-old puppy. It is the lowest possible thing that I can think of, because he got caught on the internet using my dead dog to try to harass me. He went on Twitter tirade after Twitter tirade, days of tweets that Josh Slocum sent about me, days of tweets trying to convince people, no, she's the evil one. She's the evil one. Pay no attention to the fact that I harassed her over her dead dog. She's the evil one. Pinky swear. Trust me, bro. And because he didn't get any traction with that, because no one with a working brain believes that it is the correct behavior to harass someone over the death of their pet, he got no traction at all. And quite frankly, he looked like the asshole. So maybe Josh Slocum had a little narcissistic break, that he got called on his bullshit on the internet. And he decided the best thing to do was record an entire podcast episode claiming that I wasn't upset over my dog dying. I cannot think. I thought Josh Slocum was a walking piece of human garbage already, but this is the most scum behavior I have ever encountered. I would not do this to my worst enemy. And by the way, Carrie Smith is best friends with Josh Slocum. If you don't know who Carrie is, don't worry about it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing today. Carrie Smith has a dog. I fucking hate Carrie Smith. Carrie Smith is a goddamn psycho. There is no reality when Carrie's dog dies, because it will die at some point. There is no reality in which I'm even going to mention the death of Carrie's dog when it happens. No matter how much I hate that woman, no matter how much I think that woman is a raging fucking psycho, no matter how much destruction that woman has caused on the internet with her unhinged fucking dissociative disorder, I would never say anything about a dog dying. I would never say anything about anyone's pet dying, because there are lines that you do not cross. And if you are a person on the internet that's claiming to be an expert in mental health, perhaps not recording a podcast where you insinuate that someone's dog dying was used to make about $50 in super chats on the internet, because that's about my recollection of what people sent in. And by the way, just because I know there are people that won't fact check and go back and watch the stream I did, I never asked anyone to super chat in. I very rarely ask people to super chat in. But here's what happens when people who appreciate you and support you see you in grief. They want to make you feel better in some way, and so some of them send money. And it's not about, I'm sad, pay me. That's not what it is. But it's people trying to express their love. It's people trying to express their support in the way that they have to do it. And normal people understand that. Normal people understand that there is no universe in which I'm faking any sort of emotions around the death of my dog to get about $50 in super chats. I make more money off of one paid subscription to my Substack than I did off that stream. It is the lowest form of human behavior that I can possibly imagine. And this is going to be the last time I say anything about this fucking low-life cretin ever on this channel. But it wasn't just him. It wasn't just him. Oh, look who promoted Josh Slocum's podcast. Well, we were undercover for 4 days with the left, exposing and recording what they're doing. James Lindsay retweeted this out to his 500,000 followers. So James Lindsay now is co-signing Josh Slocum using the death of my dog to harass me because James is completely intellectually outmatched by me. My work is far superior to him. He cannot debate me. There is no avenue he has in which he can intellectually defeat me in any way. And so this is the type of behavior that he's resorted to. Now, some of you might say, maybe he made a mistake, Karlyn. Maybe he didn't know what Josh Slocum was saying. All right, that's fair. When James Lindsay originally retweeted this, Josh Slocum hadn't aired his podcast yet, harassing me over the death of my dog. So we can go and see his feed today. Because, of course, the good Christian Carrie Smith, who really thinks that she's behaving in a godlike manner. This is the person who has a dog that I said I would never say anything about her dog dying. It will never happen. This happened earlier today. Carrie Smith retweeted this out because she's a fucking raging psycho. This is a great illustration of cluster B behavior. Using a particular narcissistic psychopath, I and many others have been unfortunate enough to encounter. Great work, Josh. And who retweeted it? James. Again. I don't want to be in the business of telling anyone on the internet what to do. I really don't. Do whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't make a difference to me at all. But what I will tell you is if you support this behavior, if you support any of these people, if you support people who would use the death of someone's beloved pet to harass them, no matter what you think of that person, get the fuck out of my community. I really mean that. I don't want anyone here that believes that this type of behavior is acceptable. I have always had a curated community, and I will always have a curated community. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in the past 5 years, is that the internet is filled with absolute psychopaths. And in order to be able to do what I want to do and to cover the content that I want to cover, I can't make this any harder on myself than it needs to be. And that means if you support harassing people over the death of their pets, you do not belong here. There are plenty of perfectly toxic places that you can go on the internet where you will fit right in if you think this is acceptable behavior. You will not bring that bullshit here. So, I've recently unblocked over 17,000 people on Twitter. I unblocked everyone on my block list on Twitter. I've been blocking people since then because people are coming into my feed and being assholes. I've also had a lot of positive response from people who say, hey, thanks for unblocking me. Appreciate it. They follow me. They start following my content. I don't know why I blocked them in the first place, so fine, whatever. I do every once in a while a general amnesty on my YouTube channel where I just unblock everyone that I've blocked in the past. I'm saying, okay, everyone gets a clean slate. Every once in a while, not often, but every once in a while I do that. So it's not as though I'm opposed to welcoming people back in that maybe made a mistake, maybe we had a miscommunication, maybe there was a misstep, whatever. But I want everyone to understand the reason I block people and the reason I have a heavily curated community is because I've been dealing with these people for over 4 years. Almost every day of my life. I've been dealing with the hordes of unhinged lunacy that these people drum up on the internet. This is toxic. This is low level. This is lower than fucking trash. This is trailer park. This is every bad reality TV show. This has energy involved in it that I don't want anywhere fucking near me. So this is the line in the sand. If you support these people, get the fuck out. Go hang out with them. And I wish you the very best of luck. But we don't want you here. And I think I speak for myself. I also think I speak for many people in my community who support me and have supported me for years. Stay the fuck away. You cannot go any lower than what these people have done. And they can go be miserable on their hellscape side of the internet. And I'm staying over here. And because I'm staying over here, we're going to be able to focus in on things that actually matter. We have a ton of content coming out over the next couple weeks. I'm honestly a little terrified about the amount. I have content from like the past couple weeks that I haven't even released yet because we have so much content to get through. We have multiple spy streams coming up this week. There are Mayday protests this week, guys. Mayday is going to be a huge fuck off protest. Mayday is May 1st. It's the International Day of Resistance. We are going to see massive nationwide protests on Mayday. I have many things going on that we need to cover and content we need to release. And that bullshit, we don't have time for that. We don't lower ourselves for that. Let them scream and cry on the other side of the internet. We focus on things that matter.